Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. Chris, still here for another day of a Cabinet of Curiosiprompts. That is hashtag Curiosiprompts, which is a collaboration art challenge hosted this month between me and my friend Amethyst Raven 342. That is Tiff. If you haven't checked her out already, go check her out. All the relevant stuff will be linked in the description box below. You hit see more, you see more. That's how it works. And you can find the prompt list, the intro videos, other videos, the playlist for this stuff, all of the things in there ready for you. What I am doing this month is making tags to go with each of these prompts. The Curiosiprompts are an assemblage of words that are curious, meant to incite and inspire. So yeah, let's see what we come up with. Today's day 3, and so the prompt for day 3 is, jury's still out on how this is pronounced. It's either Gallimaufry or Gallimaufry or Gallimaufry. All of which are fun, and I will probably be using all of them interchangeably throughout this this procedure. Sorry, my cat came around and I had to acknowledge her. So, at any rate, I'm making tags this month, so let's make a tag. I got my little book of watercolor papers here that I have cut down into a tag shape, and let's go. I have an idea, and the idea shouldn't be too complicated. Famous last words. But I have an idea because Gallimaufry or Gallimaufry. These words are hard to say. Some of them are hard. A Gallimaufry is a jumble or confused mixture, which is very fitting because pronouncing it leaves me feeling like a jumbled and confused mixture as well. If you were my glue stick, you would be nowhere that you are supposed to be. And I am looking with my eyeballs and I don't see you. So we're gonna start a new one, even though we know that you're around here somewhere. And then I just like rocket launch it into a space I can't even reach. Okay, that's what I get for focusing on coming up with a jazzy tune instead of my hand-eye coordination. Problem solved. So, we're going to start out by gluing some paper to this tag. And I know, guys, slow down there, cowboy. Getting too crazy up in here. Getting a little revolutionary. But I want to bag this tag. I also find myself in the interesting position of not really knowing what I want the identity of these tags to be. Like, in my brain, I'm like, oh, they should all kind of be cohesive and come together and stuff like that. But then, like, it's a Cabinet of Curiosiprompts, right? And they're all different and all unique. So they don't all have to be, like, similar and matchy-matchy, which is looking to be the case so far. But, like, you know, part of my heart wants it to be, like, something that you can tell all was intentionally done together. I don't feel like that's where it's going to end up. I honestly think it's going to be a crazy mishmatch, like, hodgepodge of stuff, which is also fine. But, you know, like, there are two wolves inside of me. And one wolf wants everything to look the same and be homogenous, and the other wolf is like, go crazy, go wild, go nuts. And that wolf is currently winning. So, I'm going to bag this, get it cut out, think about our next steps as a person and life in general, and then back to this tag. No, I do have an actual idea of what I want to do. And it's low-key inspired by something I saw on Pinterest a while ago. And I believe I added it to the Curiosiprompts Pinterest board, so you should be able to see the inspiration there if you check that out. Although I will say, after my last like tirade about how much Pinterest has changed and all that, they were like, yeah, but what if we made it worse? And so yeah, they did. They absolutely did. They knew exactly what they were doing to when they did it, because yeah, it got worse. Okay, and I saw some of the edges were lifting, which is not surprising. I say as I come to go look, and then none of them are. Okay, here we go. What else can you talk about while you glue paper to paper? Well, I mean, plenty of things. None of them on topic. So I think I'm going to get my little sanding tool guy out and stop fussing around with the edges. And let's see if we can't rough these edges up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's nice. You know what you want to fold? We're going to work with it. So a jumble or confused mixture. I have an idea, and we're going to see if that translates to the prompt. I think it will. Not gonna lie, some of these prompts have me going, huh? But I'm gonna figure it out, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna come together in the end, I know it, but like, for right now, some of them are head scratchers. This one, not so much, because I have pre-existing inspiration. Okay, yeah, I like that. Get out of here. And then give that a little bit of ink on the edge. I don't want to like obliterate all the white bits that we created, but I do want to ink it up and just stress over some of this texture that we made. So that's a great start for a great tag, don't you think? So I have this, which I found in a box, of course, because that's where all good ideas go to die in my craft room. I have never opened this. And I'm a little concerned because there are a bajillion bits of flour debris inside here that I would prefer not to bring with me. So, in fact, the flour itself can stay in this bag. I am not coming back for it. I mean, I might. Possibly. But for right now, I don't want it. So, what I wanted was one of these girls. These gorals. These gorgeous gorals in here. Ooh, I like her. Actually, she's perfect for what I have planned. Because she's got that cello or bass instrument. I don't know instruments. Not like that. But, as you can see, she is too wide for what we have planned. So, we tear. Oh, sad to tear off her hand. But, we must do what we must. So we'll tear just a little bit off. I don't want to lose her instrument in this for sure. And then, so the top and bottom match, I'm going to tear those too. Oh, perfect. Okay. Then you go away, you come back. Get some ink on here. going to fold in ink. So we have a nice little crease here. And sand over that little bit. So it has more of a worn, like somebody kept this in their pocket type of deal. And then maybe we give it another fold. It's like a natural way this would have folded. You know, like maybe a guy kept a photo of his sweetheart in his pocket while he went to war overseas or something. I don't know. There we go. I feel like it needs, you know, just one more. I mean, 2 is good, but 3 is better. Just very lightly gonna hit that edge. Maybe not nearly as light. There we go. All right, I like that. We already have a bit of a jumble happening here, yes. And then, this is not going to surprise anybody, but I am going to emboss this. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to use that ultra thick embossing powder because I want to. But also, it's going to do the things for me in this that I want. There it is. So, I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to get all the way to the edges. I'm not even particularly worried about this edge being like curled up. That's fine. It's going to add to our old photograph worn down effect. There's so much stuff piled on my desk. Finding things is becoming interesting. How did I get everywhere but right there? Okay, well, I'll come back for that. So I'm going to do one on camera with you guys for Tiff. And then the 2 other coats I'm going to do. I'm going to do 3 in total. I'm going to do off camera. Okay, so that's one. I'm going to re-ink that little bit and then come over and do another coat. And then I'll be back once I've done all 3. Okay, guys, so I am like partway through the final layer of embossing powder here, and I thought I would jump in to show you what I do before I do it. Which is, I have everything pre-melted. I have this embossing enamel, which is an aged silver, which I'm going to somehow get my finger inside of and take a decent pinch of. Trying to make the most minimal mess. Then I'm going to heat this back up and sprinkle it in. So I'm going to finish embossing. Sprinkle. Emboss again just to melt it. Sprinkle. Okay, so now I have to let this totally set and dry before I can do anything else to it. But now we've got our embossing enamel melted in there. I moved it around with my heat tool while everything was nice and wet and like runny, so I could have a little bit of control over like where it goes. But is it in focus? There we go. So you guys can kind of see the effect that we've done here. It's really pretty, and it's a really subtle effect, so I like that too. You can also see probably in that close-up, like there's some speckling of this like brown speckles here. That was from the oxide ink getting picked up with the embossing powder to add this interesting like patinaed aged effect, which is really cool. So this is going to set, and then we're going to come back. Okay guys, so a couple things have happened. One, I meant to come back in 15 minutes, and it's 3 days later. Two, some interesting things have developed, because I meant to come back in 15 minutes, right? So I wanted to let this set so I could come back and be like, then we'll do the thing together, right? But here's what happened. I normally would leave these like overnight, like the embossing overnight, so that it would set completely, and then you can like crack it, and it cracks a lot better than trying to leave it, you know, for like a couple minutes later. It just, whatever reason, this embossing powder, when you build it up, stays like liquid until the next day, and then it cracks like a crisp chip. Like it's so good, so satisfying. But because I was trying to come back in 15 minutes, I put it in the freezer because I was like, speed this process up, right? Which had a wonderful side effect of already cracking on its own. It did that itself. And I have exacerbated it a bit. I don't even know if you guys can see it because I can't see my camera. So let me see, and then I'll make sure that you guys can see. There we go. So look at this. It cracked so much. I came in and like added a little bit extra in here because what I realized was that I could continue cracking it, but I can get different directions and better glass like shattering effects. So like I left this spot here so you guys could see, but I'm able to go from different directions because usually I can only get one direction of cracks here, but I'm getting this like perfect like crazing effect from popping it in the freezer, and I don't know why, But it looks so good. I'm not mad, you know, like, it looks great. It's better than I even imagined it was going to be doing it the regular way, right? So, now I've got fingerprints all over it. So, fantastic. From now on, I think I'm going to be putting them in the freezer. I think it's because, like, it's still warm for a while. That's why it takes so long to set. Especially when you, like, build up the layers and layers and layers. The bottom layers underneath are, like, still a little bit warm. So that's why they don't crack the way that you want them to. But putting them in the freezer was like a shock. Like, I just dropped it in a bath of ice, right? So it, like, all retracted, which is where all the cracks came from. That's how they make. Like, that's how the cracks form in the freezer is through the retraction. And then for whatever reason, I guess because it's like instant setting, I'm able to do a bajillion multiple cool cracks. So that's what we did. So I think that adds to the Gallimaufry prompt, right? We have a confused, a jumbled mixture of cracks. Okay, that's a start. But to go for the full effect, I have this very thin 30 gauge wire. I don't know if you guys can see how thin. It's super thin. I got it by mistake. So it's been floating around my stash with me trying to come up with clever ways to use it. And I figured that this could be our confused and jumbled mixture, right? Like, we're gonna do some stuff with the wire. Oh, Nico's doing zoomies. So that we can, you know, get it on there, you know, in some kind of way that makes sense. And then I figured, because she's playing a string instrument anyways, that, like, these strings could be, like, the strings of said instrument. But, like, maybe they broke over time or something. That's the narrative I'm telling myself, mostly, but also you guys today. So yeah, I'm just gonna, like, be real random and loose with it and have a little bit of fun. That was Nico and her horse feet coming through. I don't particularly love that, so let me try that again. So the idea is to make a confused and jumbled mixture of wire that sort of echoes the strings of her musical instrument, which I'm sure you guys have already told me about in the comments, or have shouted at your TVs at least one time, because you're lovely, wonderful people who do come through when I'm confused about something. So I will say, as a heads up, thank you for that, or as in advance, thanks in advance for correcting me when I don't know what stuff is. What do we think? Is it looking sufficiently confused and jumbled? I don't know why I just want to stay right there. I think that looks pretty good. You guys can see. It's so hard with the glare, it being like a shiny surface too, but we shall work it out and make it happen, Captain. Okay. Oh, geez, I just dropped that on the floor, so that was a sacrifice to the craft room gods today. And then, if I had prepared better... Oh, I do have a strip of tape. I mean, an extremely long strip, but it does the job, right? At least not whatnot. There we go. Oh, jeez. So, that's a start. I like this. I like this a lot. I feel like, now that we're 3 days in, I kind of have, like, a better idea of what I want going into this. I have a sort of a vibe here. Not who knows what I'm doing tomorrow. I haven't even looked at tomorrow's prompt. What is tomorrow's prompt? That's a good question. It's an epigram. No, I have no idea what I'm doing. I lied. I thought I had something, but I didn't. I have no clue. I do have some leaves that I pulled because I thought those would be nice to, like, peek out a little bit back here, because I do like this. I want to off-center this a little bit, like so. I like this crack back here because it echoes what's on the front, and then I want some of the text to show through. But I don't want black leaves on here, although maybe, because the black's not bad, right? Like, it pops off that background. I was going to do gold to like go with the gold here, but I have a different idea. When in doubt, wax it out. Maybe we'll tie the gold into the background. Even though it is like sort of a vintage silver. I probably should have used silver. Let's see if I can catch some of those raised edges too. I think I have the silver right there too, so why not use both? Let's see. Are you silver? No, that's brass. That's iron. And what gold? I guess iron is the silver one? I don't remember. I swear there was like an aged silver. But this one will work. I'm just going to kind of drag it across and try to catch some of that texture in there too. Which is good because it like balances out that warm toned gold quite a bit. So yeah, I like using both. That was more than I intended, but it'll do. Okay. So this is going to seem redundant, but I want to, surprisingly to no one, emboss these leaves. I really needed like another trick that I can pull out and be like, here's a surprising thing. I don't have a surprising thing. The surprise is I want to emboss again. But I think I'm just going to emboss them black. And I'm not embossing all of this because if you can see this, this leaf is having performance issues. It's seen better days. So I'm not even going to use this entire piece. In fact, I'm probably only going to use this much, this part right here that's like extra floppy, but I'm gonna come back here. This die is the worst fern die I have because they all end up like that no matter what size like cardstock you use, and if you use a too thick cardstock then it takes like, I don't know, your entire soul to get it to cut. If you were my Versamark. Is this the most efficient way? No. Is it the way? Yes. So hopefully I'm getting enough ink on here. I don't know. I mean, my pad is still pretty juicy. I suppose I could buy one of those re-inkers and re-ink it up. Not today, but like, you know, in the future. So let's see. And I know you guys are like, it's already black, Priscilla. Why would you continue to emboss it? It's because I want the texture, babe. I do. I also want it to shine. Because it's a very shiny tag. So let's see. It's not super complicated, but it is going to be very effective, I think, in the long run. I don't know why I put this away every time, like I'm not going to use it as my backdrop. Ooh, okay, we still got zoomies. Let's see. Cover your ears, I guess. Okay, so I maybe over embossed them a little, but I kind of like the variation from like gloss to matte, so I'm not even gonna try to correct that. I will show you guys what it looks like here from the over embossing. I don't know if it's in focus, but you see like right here the two tones. I kind of like that. I'm not mad at it. I am gonna eventually need a new backdrop because there's so much embossing powder on this. Ooh, I forgot to screw this down. I almost spilled this entire thing on me. Am I? Okay. I was gonna ask if I was special because I was struggling. So all I gotta do is glue this together and then we're done. And I know what you guys are thinking. First of all, I am still using rusty nail. And second of all, it's smarter to put the word down before I stick it down on top of all the texture stuff. Do, 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 do. Okay. And then I suppose, while I'm at it, there we go. I still have not put ink on that little distress thing. This is going to come out rusty looking because I have a rusty nail in here. A rusty pen. Don't worry. It's still going to glue. And do not ask why I put them all in the same place. There's just I've decided that this is the side. Okay. So, let's get these down. And I'm thinking of Abe Lincoln is the song that I'm writing while I do this because I don't have things to talk about. Geez, what can I talk about? I don't know. Are you guys joining in on the Cabinet of Curiosiprompts? I almost said tease. Are you joining in the Cabinet of Curiosiprompts? I would be very interested to know. Even if you aren't posting online, if you're just crafting at home along with us, I would be very, very curious and intrigued to see if you are and how you are feeling 3 days in. I think the fun thing about a challenge like this with these kinds of like prompts is that the prompts are, you know, they're definitions, so they're words. I'm going to explain to you how words and definitions in the dictionary work. And so, it's not what I'm trying to do. Words are really hard, guys, okay? So, at any rate, what I was trying to say was that, like, we have these words that are clearly defined, but they can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways, especially, like, artistically. There's lots of ways that you can go. There's not like an overarching theme or anything like that with this challenge. You don't even have to do like curiosities or anything like that. You know, like there's a lot of wiggle room for like interpretation here, which I think is really fun because I know that that means that like everybody who participates is going to come up with something radically different from everybody else. And like if you wanted to, if you didn't like the lack of structure, you need something more directional, you could give yourself a theme. You could prompt it, you know, give like a certain theme for all of your tags overall. I just watched Belle's video today where she was doing one of her ABC collage things, and she talked about making it like cat themed and making it a cat theme challenge, and she was like, do I want to make it harder of a challenge by making it all cat themed? And like that's an idea you could use. You know, if you wanted to do like all cat themed or all curiosity themed or all shabby chic themed or whatever you're doing, I don't know. But you could give yourself like a theme to go off of if you're feeling like it's a little too directionalist and you need to like narrow your focus a little bit more. That would be the way to do it. But otherwise, like, I don't know, like, I just kind of like having this open challenge that allows you to interpret the prompts however you would like to, and like sort of depict these words in like a radical different way if you want. Or you could just be very, very straightforward with it and you know, like do a simple collage and just put the word on there as like a definition card type thing, like a flashcard type of deal. You could do that too, and that would still be like pretty cool and fun to do, just to be making stuff. There's lots of different ways I think you can approach like a challenge like this, as opposed to like a challenge like you know, like Fanguary, which is all vampire themed. Obviously you're locked into that theme. Or like, you know, the goblin mode challenge, which I love. I really do want to do that again. Maybe for my birthday. But whatchamacall? Words and stuff and things. But you know, like when you have a theme, you're sort of locked into a very specific sort of aesthetic. And I think with challenges like this, you get to be a little bit more flexible in the deciding, and decide what your aesthetic is, if it has to even have like an overarching aesthetic. It doesn't. It could be all different things, which is so far what I have been doing. Even though, like I said the other day, like, or maybe it was the same day, my brain is not here. I don't know what happened 2 days ago, let alone 3 when I did this. But like, you know, my brain wants everything to match, but I haven't been doing that. So we'll see how that continues as we go on. I like that. I liked it a lot. I like it a lot, but you know what it needs? I can already hear you guys. It needs more leaf. It needs like a leaf. Not this jankety broken leaf. But it needs a third. So do I have another skinny fern? What about this one? Maybe I could tuck it in under some of these. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so one more time. What I'm looking at, I guess, like composition-wise, is everything is moved this way. So like, even though the picture is over here and sort of the weight of the photo is here, because there's movement with these leaves like this way, it now feels like dramatically off balance. So by adding another leaf this way, sort of balance it. Does that make sense? I don't talk about like composition a lot, but I remember ages back, when I was doing more collage-y stuff, somebody asked me if I could explain like my collage process, and I really can't. I tried. Like I have the basic design principles, like the rule of threes, working in like a grid sort of thing, trying to like work in triangles. Like those are all sorts of ways and techniques that you can sort of approach collage to get sort of visually appealing products or results. But I don't know how to explain it to you in a way that's like, this is how I got to this conclusion, you know, like that's a little trickier to explain, because I'm going with what's like visually appealing to myself, and what's visually appealing to me might not be the same thing that's visually appealing to you, so we might be coming at it from different perspectives. But even on that note, even following basic like design principles and stuff, you might just be like, hey, I don't care that there's a rule of 3, I want there to be 2, and that might be what looks better to you. So at the end of the day, I could explain like my thoughts and stuff behind my compositions better probably, but I don't know if that's gonna help as much. Maybe it will, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but like maybe it'll help in me helping you make your own decisions when it comes to, I just tucked that right down in there. Well, I guess I'll find it next time, because, oh no, wait, I found it. I was about to like, I did it again, oh my god. I put it away. You have another job. But like, I don't know, maybe like explaining the reason why I'm like, oh, I should add one more thing to this is, it would be helpful to those of you guys who are looking for like more tips on collage and composition. Layout design, I guess? I don't know. And then I overheated this one on purpose so that it would match the other ones. And now you can go away. Okay. So we're almost done. Final stretch. I want to see if I can get this a little bit incorporated into the photo. You know, because this has like the vibe of, you know, like a picture that somebody saved and then it got like maybe lost to time or ages or whatever. And then, you know, like it got dug back up, but it was like in a mess of stuff, and maybe it's been like lost in that scratic for a while. It has become a little bit overgrown, a little bit taken over by whatever's growing up there. But this was somebody's true love. He loved this lady so much. But you know what? She loved him, but not in the same way, right? Because she was dedicated to her music, right? And he wanted her to run away with him so that they could be wed. But she didn't. And then unfortunately, war struck out and he had to leave. So he carried her picture with him the entire time. It was the only thing that kept him going every day. He would hold her picture in his hand and he would look at it and he would remember, I gotta come home to her. But maybe he never did. Maybe they found this in the fields, all like covered up by the brambles and the overgrowth and little bits of wire and whatnot that he kept with him, little souvenirs. Maybe he kept some of her strings in his pocket as a token for good luck, or she gave it to him as a token of good luck, maybe. I'm writing the story right now, you guys. It's going to be the next major motion picture. Okay, I'm going to come back with some glossy accents to stick the leaf down to the embossing because it's plastic to paper and this doesn't work. Everybody told me that I could stick this to shiny plasticky stuff and then they lied. Or at least in my experience, it doesn't work that way. But that is our tag. That is the tag for today, day 3 of a Cabinet of Curiosiprompts. That's hashtag Curiosiprompts. Make sure you check out the playlist down below, see what everybody else is making. Jump over to Amethyst Raven 342, that's Tiff, and see what she made today. And you guys, that's it for me for now. I'll catch you guys all tomorrow when we figure out what to do for an epigram. And until next time, guys, happy crafting and goodbye. I appreciate your faces.